Hope all you are having an amazing day, an amazing beginning of the week. If it's already beyond your first working day of the week, well, then an amazing beyond your first working day of the week. Over here in Israel, it's already the second day of the work week for most people. Most people typically work here from Sunday to Thursday or Sunday to Friday. Depends on the job, yeah. But most jobs are Sunday to Thursday or Sunday to Friday. And of course, some people work weekends too, like emergency workers or soldiers or police or things like that. It really depends, right? Doctors and whatever, and certain stores as well. But most places are shut down on Saturday. In most places, they're shut down by law. In some places, they're shut down voluntarily. But generally speaking, most places are shut down on Saturdays. And so the weekends here, typically one day a week. As with much of the Middle East, it's just that in Israel, it tends to be on Saturday or Friday afternoon until Saturday night. And then the rest of the Middle East tends to have their weekend on a Friday. Or Thursday night to Friday night. Because the religious calendars of these areas tend to be predominantly lunar calendars. And the Islamic faith has their holy day on Friday. Jewish religion has its holy day on Saturday. And obviously, Christian religion has its holy day on Sunday. And in the Middle East, there are obviously all three of those religions, although Christianity is by far a tiny minority compared to the Muslim religion and even compared to the Jewish religion, at least in Israel, and even in Lebanon. I mean, yes, there are more Christians than Jews in Lebanon, but there are only a tiny number of Christians in Lebanon compared to the number of Muslims. And there are Christians in other, in Iraq, there are Christians in Egypt, there are Christians all over the Middle East, but not in large numbers compared to the number of Muslims. So you tend to see Friday being the day off in pretty much every Middle Eastern country, except for Israel, where it's Saturday. Why am I talking to you about any of that as I welcome you to your new work week? Well, I am in Israel at the moment. Northern Israel, hello, where it is relatively quiet despite the loud noises I'm walking by. But those are the noises of construction and building and prosperity. Those are the noises of tree cutting machines, right? Arbor management, landscaping. That's prosperity right there, right? You don't have landscaping tools, cherry picker machines running for no reason in impoverished lands, right? So, yeah, you can arguably say that this is not an impoverished land. Okay, sure, you could say, well, you do have machines like that in certain impoverished lands, yes, where you're trying to change the tide and somebody's making an investment to do that. But I can fortunately say that in Israel, the general level of prosperity is better than many places on this green earth. Blue earth? It's mostly blue, right? Because the water does cover most of the surface area on this blue earth. It's funny that it's blue, right? Because if you take a cup of water, you know the whole thing, right? You take a cup of water, water's transparent, no color. If you look out of the vast ocean, it's blue. Is it reflecting the sky? Do you know the science to that? That is Googleable if you don't know. If you didn't learn that in science class. So no, I'm not going to tell you because you should know that. And I presume that you do. And if you don't, well, you're just a Google away from it. Wow, what is this message? I think AI.
A bowl is a concave shape.
What?
Here's why. Concave. This term describes a surface that curves inward. Imagine holding your hands together to form a cup shape that's concave.
I don't
If you'd like to learn more about different shapes, you can definitely find a lot of information
kidding me?
online or in a basic
Now I've got
geometry textbook. Let me know if you have
Google
any other
Gemini.
questions.
Google Gemini is literally, I don't know if you guys saw that. Did you guys see that? Did you guys hear that? That was Google's Gemini AI tool popping up in the middle of the YouTube, answering a question about a bowl being a concave shape. Okay, so now they've stuck that robot listening to our live streams. Fantastic. I mean, we knew that anyway, but now it's actively responding to words that it hears. Thanks, Google. Anyway, what is up with Bitcoin? Finally, can we get the answer to that, please? That's why we're here, you're saying. Okay. Remember yesterday I told you guys that Bitcoin alts, Bitcoin and the altcoins have a relatively tight day and set up relatively tight daily ranges and moved the needle to the upside on the central weekly ranges, that we would be looking at a setup for a potentially huge week. Well, what happened? I also said if it didn't happen, then it might not happen, right? It might not play out, right? We might see something quite very different, right? We might see quite the ranging week being set up. Well, what happened? Well, the propensity of the probabilities played out, didn't they? I see your message there, but I can hardly read it. Hey, hello. I can hardly read your message. What does it say? It says, well, yeah, heard that's that. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, if you look at the probabilities, the propensity of the probabilities did in fact play out. We have new weekly ranges, right? The new central weekly range of Bitcoin looking good, has moved up. The new central daily range on Bitcoin looking good. Relatively tight. It's set up for go time. Same thing on Solana, same thing on Sol. We saw on Solana also. There was some movement obviously yesterday, but it wasn't staggering, and it basically went down and then back up a little bit. But it was chilling out yesterday, taking a bit of a breather, dropping a little bit down to that 212 and change area. If you look at where it hit exactly on the VRE level. You can tell me that's because somebody drew a funny line there? No, it's not. It's because the maths, bro. It's because the maths. Now let's look at the canal, shall we? Always lovely to look at the canal. The Solana has also moved its central weekly range. New one is printed in place. And it's looking good. And the daily range as well. Daily range, basically on all the major cryptos, certainly the ones I like to look at, Bitcoin, Solana, Litecoin, even Ethereum. I don't trade it so much, but definitely look at it regularly. Do certain things with it once in a while. Ripple, BNB, DOT, Cardano, those and many others in the top. Even I'll say the top 100 because, truthfully, I look at the top page where the top 100 positions. I'll even look all the way, I'll look all the way at Monero. I like Monero, you guys know. Not a huge fan of Zcash, but it's better than a lot of other projects. Especially after they did that whole thing, several years ago, where they kind of got rid of that whole founders share thing. That was a smart move. I was a proponent of that. I didn't like the whole thing that the founder held like whatever percent of the bag on every transaction. Didn't think that was right. Yeah, and there's a lot of good projects, really. But I know people are fans of Arbitrum as a layer for Ethereum. There are excited for, there's a million different projects people like, right? And there's lots of tokens from exchanges that people like. Which, I mean, listen, BNB, perfect example of a token for an exchange, right? And Bybit has theirs, and they all have one, right? Practically, like tons of exchanges that have tokens. Question is, what utility doth thou bring, right? What utility do they bring? Seriously, what utility do these exchange tokens bring? Seriously, are they doing anything other than just giving you lower fees on a trade? Now, I'm not saying that's not a valid reason for a token. I'm not. It is, in fact, a valid reason for a token, even if it's the only thing it ever does. But is a digital coupon, which is what that is a digital coupon worth hundreds of dollars per token? I mean, sure, why not, right? But on the other hand, bro, you get coupons for free in the newspaper. Piles of them. Do you use any of them? So, okay, like if you're an active trader and you're actively trading on Binance, then yeah, Binance can make a lot of sense to have some Binance coin, obviously, because it lowers your fees remarkably well. But if you're not actively trading on Binance, ask yourself this, like, okay, I understand they have their own what they call smart chain. They have cheap NFT type things on there, kind of a knockoff of Ethereum and Solana. It's like the bottom of the barrel of cheap NFTs. I get it. And there's plenty of people who like that stuff because, especially the flippers love that stuff because they can make like 10 cents, 20 cents, maybe $1 on the trade. Okay, it's wonderful. Listen, to a lot of people in the world, it's not a joke, right? If you can do that 3, 4, 5 times a day, you're actually beating your local economy's GNP or GDP, average income per person. I know it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of countries in the world where if you make $5 to $10 a day, you're doing way better than the average person. And again, I know that sounds crazy, but there's plenty of countries in the world where the salary is anywhere from $20 to $100 a month, and people live on it. They may not live luxuriously, but they live on it somehow, right? Because their local economy is set up that way. That's what they pay. That's their cost of living, basically, right? And yes, they can live on $10 to $50 a month if they're, saving money well. So do I recommend avoiding BNB at all costs? No, because for some people it's an easy way to make a living, relatively. Do I think it's a great way for people in like industrialized nations to get ahead? Honestly, no, unless you're actually holding significant bags of it and know what to do with it. I mean, you can trade it. Look, it's a liquid asset, right? You can trade it and make money on it all day trading it. That there's utility. But most people aren't scalpers. That's just a fact. Right? Most people are not day traders. If anything, they're avoiding that kind of thing, which we know. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. I'll talk with you later. Have a lovely day. And I'll see you in the live stream there Monday through Sunday. Yesterday, there wasn't one because of some technical reasons or some cultural reasons, whatever it was. But normally they're Monday through Sunday, and Monday through Saturday they happen starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, if you want to be specific. Does any other country measure time like that? Anyway, that's going to do it for now. Happy trading. Cheers.